Hey everyone, fresh off the Unify Forever stage and gearing up for their album release this week, I have Connor Brooker, frontman of Aussie rockers Bugs, here for a chat today. Connor, how are you, mate?
Good morning, good afternoon. I'm great, thank you. Can't complain. I'm bloody buzzing. It's really excited. It's a big week, so just chomping at the bit to get the music out and just super excited. It's a little bit early in the morning, but I'm usually up at 7, so it's not too bad for me.
Love it. Well, I mean, you've delved into my first question, but let's chat about it a little more. It is album release week. Happy release week.
Thank you.
Cuties is out everywhere on Friday via Community Distro. I mean, how excited are you to get this piece out into the world?
So just it's so surreal. Like, can't really put into words the feeling, because it's like, it's just there's so much involved, so many moving parts involved when you're doing an album, and like as an artist, like writing a release from the inception of like the birth of the songs, I guess, to this point now when you're actually presenting it to everyone. It's awesome. It's this massive confirmation of like all the work that you've done, and it's like you've finally got something tangible and real that's out in the world that you can like show to other people, and like it's like proof of like your achievement basically. And all that's really exciting because we've worked so hard on it. But it's just really cool because it's like a very different sound, I think, for us. Like, I noticed with some of the songs that have been played already, a bunch of our audience members and stuff and people that have loved us for years have kind of noticed a bit of a shift in the sound. So that's really exciting. It's cool. It's cool. With every release, we seem to kind of grow and still be able to retain our core group of fans for what like our music is good for, and like what people love about it's always still there. That we've managed to kind of branch out and I guess grab a whole new like swathe of fans and a whole new group of people who otherwise previously might not have even listened to our music, because it's, I guess, like punk and like energetic and like really a lot of the time fast paced and like catchy and hooky. So a lot of people don't like music like that. Like, they like more mellow stuff or more emotional, introspective stuff. So I guess we've tried to kind of open up the influence palette, and just we've thrown everything at it because we recorded it during COVID and had so much time and so much kind of like free space to be able to just make it grow into its own entity. And it's been so awesome with Community. Like, they've been so pro artist, and like
They are the
just
best.
they're unreal. Like, it's honestly such a dream come true. Like, I was speaking to Jadden at the festival in Unify, and just him saying basically like one of the reasons I started Community is because of artists like us. And it's just so, I can't describe how nice it was to meet like a lot of the crew, and also just like feel like that big warm hug coming into Unify.
Yeah, that's
Because
kind of what it is. Yeah.
it's unbelievable. Like, I've never been to a festival or met like a group of people who are so genuine, inclusive, and like there's just no gronks around. Like,
Yeah.
feel like so again validated in the choice that we've made to go with them, and just so supported to have like a distributor or a label where they're basically just really supportive of what you're doing and going, we're just going to help. Like, we're not going to try and like step in and like inject like our business knowledge, which exactly, it just gives you so much freedom as an artist and so much like confidence in your own, I guess, brand or band. Because it's really cool, because the artists excuse me, the artists that they work with as well, I have massive respect for. So dream come true.
Well, you touched on Unify, but I want to come back to that later. Let's chat a little more about the album for a quick second. You touched on it earlier, saying that it's got a lot of energy, and that might be a switch of sound for you guys. But for me, from start to finish, the record and the high energy that it has, like that's the most delightful part to me. And whether someone was a fan before or they're a fan now, like, holy moly, it's an explosive album. I found myself, when each track came on, I was like, okay, so the next one will play. Surely it can't be as catchy as the last. And then it plays, and it absolutely is. Even with songs that appear to be slower to start with, like Alone Again, it kicks in and it's just catchy as fuck. Like, talk me through, I guess, the creative process. And you mentioned it before, you put everything into it. How did it come together?
the starters, thank you. That means a lot that you feel that way listening to the songs, because I felt that way writing them, honestly, like putting and injecting so much energy
I
into
love
what we
that.
do. It honestly, like seeing you smiling and yeah, basically saying that like there's not too much hooks in the album is awesome, because like I just write like really, I don't know, I write lots of songs. Like we wrote probably 40 songs for this album and like recorded I think 38 that we whittled down eventually to the 10. And I'm not saying that they're all good songs. Most of them are terrible, which is why they don't get on the album in the end. So I'm not like self-glorifying or anything. It's just like, I guess we do. I write so much, and we had so much time that we just basically could refine and make sure that the only things that made it onto the album were things that like really kind of stood the test of time. And because it was like a year-long process, we were just like almost trying to make every excuse for songs not to make their way onto the album, as weird as that might sound. Like we were trying to poke holes
No,
in
I kind of get
every
it. Yeah.
one, and going like, it's just so to make sure that everything that was on there really absolutely deserved to be on there. Because like, I don't know, yeah, right, like my whole thing with writing, and like a lot of the time with songs, I don't sit down and like flesh out and not from nothing to just a song within hours. Like I'll be in the shower and I'll usually hear like the hook of the song, like a chorus or like one of the main kind of parts of a song that people would catch on to and remember. That's like the thing that I hear in my head, and it's like a fully complete produced idea. It's never really just like a humming a melody kind of thing. It's usually like I can hear the whole finished like part of the song in my head. So then it's like a rush to kind of, I guess, like archive it and get it onto a hard drive or on an actual like
Yeah.
real. My brain isn't like a real storage device. It's pretty unreliable. So I try to put it onto something more solid and like
Of course, it
reliable.
always comes in those times where you're in the shower and you're like, wait, hang on, I need to get this out of my brain. But like, it's the worst time for you to actually be able to do it.
I mean, iPhones have come a long way and they're splash proof
True.
now, so you can kind of judge. But no, it's like, yeah, it's always annoying. It used to happen all the time when I was at working my retail job. Like, just I'd be at work and serving someone, and something would pop into my head, and then I'd have to crouch behind like the counter and be like muttering into my phone, trying to make like loud enough so I can like sing the pitch and like, so when I listen back I'll actually remember what the idea was, but like quiet enough so they can't hear me from the other side of the store. So I'm just like this creepy little gremlin
That's
underneath the counter being like doing this weird little like kids singing voice to try and not be loud enough. Like I've got so many of those voice memos on my phone where you just like go back to them and they're like almost unintelligible because I was trying not to wake up my roommates or something like that. It's so, I don't know. I think I just need to live alone, because I'm just like, they come at like 2 a.m. and all sorts of weird times when like it's not conducive to recording. So
Too bad.
I don't know what the solution is.
Too bad, housemates. You live with an artist. That's what it's like.
Well, they're all artists as well. Like I
Oh,
live with Maz, who plays in Wax, and Holly and Liam, my other roommates, who play music. So it's kind of like, yeah, you just.
that's so wild. I know I want to touch on Unify later, but I spent like a great deal of time with Maz and Jenna watching Ocean Grove at Unify. It was like such a real experience being in the pit with Maz and Jenna, and like it was awesome.
Man, I'm so sad. I saw saw Jenna on Friday. I haven't seen her in bloody years because of just gallivanting world beater. But yeah, I wish. That's awesome. I'm so glad you had a good time. I'm jealous. I wish I was there on the Friday because we only flew in on the Saturday. But yeah, I saw Jenna and Maz caught up, and I was just like, it's such. It's what I was saying before. It's such a good like mesh of incredible people. So cool.
Let's pin Unify though, because I really do want to touch on that. Like that festival means the world to me. But I just want to circle back to something you were just saying, where you were saying you give a lot of attention to sort of one track, or it comes to you at any time. I need to call out one track in particular off the album, which is Diamond. Holy moly, this song has been so explosive. I feel like it was absolutely everywhere. And then in addition to that song exploding, like you've been getting some pretty huge love from Triple J and the Oz music scene in general. I guess I wanted to ask you, like, how has that felt, and could you ever have expected this mammoth response?
Definitely never expected it. Like everything that's happened in it, and like a career or like my musical journey to date's been pretty surreal, and it's honestly like with every chapter as it keeps going, it's kind of more overwhelming, and you get more used to it as you get older and stuff, and you just get, I guess, a little bit less like emotionally rattled by the highs and lows. You kind of find a way to balance it all out a bit more. But yeah, honestly, like I say that on one hand, but then I have experiences like Unify, or like last night when our newest song was premiering on the radio. Like I still get like such an incredible euphoric buzz out of those kind of moments. And like it's I guess not so much like the radio play and support from the Australian music industry has been incredible. Don't get me wrong, like that's, I never take for granted. It's just anyone listening to our music, because I get how much of a like sacrifice of their time and an investment of their energy it is, like because I do it myself, and it's like it's hard to grab people's attention and retain them to a point where they're actually like an investor who cares about what you're building, kind of thing, like, which all sounds like really businessy jargony, but anyway, what I was kind of trying to,
like that's the thing, is like that's what I've really noticed, is how much they really do care about you guys.
Yeah, that's where I was kind of going to, is like the end connection that is the result of all of that promotion and all of the kind of like, yeah, the fanfare and the hype that comes with, like, I guess being in a band that's like built a fan base of our size or something. Like it's more so the personal like interactions and connections that we make with people, and like meeting people at festivals that haven't like they've followed us for like 5 to 7 years and stuff, and even people that have come on board in the last like 6 months. It's like I can't discriminate between like the level of passion and like emotion they have. It's almost like someone who's been into us for 3 months like feels they just get it, and once they get on board, they're kind of almost at that same level as someone who's followed us for years. They might not have all the kind of like nerdy knowledge of like the back discographies and all that kind of stuff, but like excuse me, all that stuff's like superficial at the end of the day. And like, yeah, as long as someone like appreciates what you do, and they like, and when someone comes up and says that to you, like whether it be in the supermarket or on Instagram DMs, or like some of the weirdest places people approach me where I'd never expect, or like the person that's coming up to me, I'm kind of like, oh God, what's this person going to say? Like I couldn't have imagined that they'd be approaching me about to talk to me about my music. Like I was in Woolies yesterday morning, and a 16-year-old kid was like working the self-service checkouts, and he just kept like side-eyeing me, and I was like, is this kid like really paranoid that I'm trying to rack stuff from Woolies? Like I was like, I'm nearly 30. I know I've got long hair, but I don't look that sus, do I? And then he eventually pops over and he's like, are you Connor? And I'm like, yeah. So and he's like, man, love your band. And he's like just so jazzed. And I like, that's the thing. I was more jazzed, or just as jazzed, that he'd noticed me and stuff. Like and then he kept apologizing, like, sorry to bother you, like, sorry, I'll leave you alone. I was like, you don't have to leave me alone. Like, it's so cool that you'd come up and say, like, it's so brave of someone to like see someone they admire and like go up and say that you appreciate what they do when you don't know them from a bar of soap. Like that's brave, and that takes a lot of guts. And like anyone to view that as like a bad, or like, I don't know, like if someone views that as an imposition on their rights to freedom or whatever, then they shouldn't have ever been a musician. Like, because that's the best. It's so cool when people like appreciate what you do. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. It's that connection's like gold to me.
Yeah,
so it's so cool.
It's kind of the perfect segue into exactly what I was going to talk about next, because I do want to touch on Unify now. And for me personally, Unify Forever was quite an overwhelming experience. I'd worked at Unified, the company, for 2 years prior, and now obviously like, front and center of the sort of heavy music media world. And I've connected with so many bands, and as an experience, Unify Forever was quite overwhelming for me, because I would kind of walk a couple of meters and someone would be like, oh my gosh, Lili. And as beautiful as that was, I actually took your set on the Saturday as a bit of a moment to kind of remove myself from that. And I sat up on the hill near the big, like, rotating bottle of whatever it was. There was some spirit bottle. I actually took my shoes off, grounded myself, and put a hoodie on so that like I could really enjoy the moment and not be interrupted. And it was kind of like a spiritual and really I don't know what the right word is, but I guess like breath of fresh air moment for me watching your set on the Saturday. Sorry, I'll get to you in a sec. I've just realized I've rambled for like 5 minutes, but like Unify is my favorite weekend of the year. I go every year. I have a giant Unify tattoo. So yeah, it's always such a positive experience, but that moment for me was quite transformative for the weekend. So I wanted to ask you, like, tell me about the experience of Unify Forever for you, and what did you get out of it? What was your favorite thing? Like, go forth and tell me your experience from that weekend.
That was so awesome to listen to, and the dogs going nuts is so cute in the background.
They're so crazy. I'm gonna mute my camera so you can answer.
I love them. There must be a postie around or something. But yeah, I felt this exact thank you for watching us, Lily, and like thanks for just like enjoying what we were doing and having a bit of a moment, because I can so relate to what you were saying. Like, you just, when we went out to the crowd, or like after our set, even like immediately after our set, I love jumping down on the front barrier and giving people a cuddle and like giving people set lists and stuff like that. It's so cool because it's like you're almost breaking that fourth wall of like, I hate that little gap in between the stage. I know it's necessary
like we're
for
up
logistical
here
purposes.
and down there, like
yeah, I've always hated that. Like, I love house shows. I love like that. I'm such a firm believer in like, it's just like we're all there together having like a shared experience as opposed to like performing. Like, I get just as much off the crowd's energy and involvement and their investment in what we're doing as they do off me, I think. And like going out into the crowd, it was so surreal, kind of like going every 5 meters, as you said, and like someone would just grab you and just be like, hey, oh my God. And like, that kind of, it's like so nice. But like,
I feel like I
when
need
you've
to
been on
like clarify, it's beautiful, it's so nice, but when you really want to focus on one set, like
totally, it's
yeah.
so hard. Like, people would just be hitting you in waves, and then like, it was literally because we went out the back we went out into the pit or whatever during Teenage Jones after we played, and they're really good mates. Like, we've toured with them. I've known them since they were 17 and playing venues as kids, and it's so cool to watch them like smash like a awesome Sunset Festival slot. But then like I could barely see any of their set because
they were psycho. It was so amazing.
They were so unreal. Like, I had no doubts that they would be, because they're just that's who they are. They're incredible performers and people. But yeah, I didn't get to soak up much of their set because I just had like people coming up and saying good day every like 2 or 3 minutes, and then you can't like just be like, hey, well, you can at that festival, because eventually by the end of the set I was just going, hey, I'll chat to you in a second. I'm just like, this is about to end and I really want to soak in like a moment. Yeah, like I just want to sing one song and be like fully present for like one set at least, and eventually got to have that after a while of walking around. And I found a quieter spot to sit for a while. But it's so nice, but it's overwhelming, like the sheer amount of like social communication that you have to that you choose to engage in for a weekend. It's like, it's overwhelming, because after so long as well, like years without like mass social contact and festivals and gatherings of this kind of like scale, it's like we haven't really been eased back into the whole
it was like 0 to 100.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure you feel the exact same way. It was just like, bang, we're here, there's hundreds of people, and somehow I didn't get COVID. Like, I rat tested on Monday, and like, still dodging it, like crazy.
Dude, I'm beginning to think I'm the cure now, like, because I've dodged it for so long. I think I'm the cure.
It's remarkable. The Cure, great band.
You were just touching on like, we haven't been able to do anything in so long, and then you get like catapulted into this large experience. Perfect time to bring up the fact that you're about to embark on a mammoth 17-date tour. So that's going to be across April and May with Void, and then my dear friends in Loser. I guess like
who do you know in Loser? Do you know those guys?
Yeah, Craig. So I worked with Domestic Lala, and Craig is a dear friend. So super excited that you guys are hitting the road together. I just wanted to ask, like, I guess, what can people who are going to one of these shows, what can they expect?
Oh, Loser and Void to blow their domes off, for starters. Like, they're both such sick bands. Like, I'm almost like, terrified that we've booked them as supports, because it's the classic, like, you're gonna get played off the stage before you even go on, and like, not just performance wise, like Void will be literally smashing guitars, and then Loser will come out and it'll just be this like wall of sonic rich texture that their live sound and set is just so polished. Like, all of them are such awesome performers and like such awesome people. Like, it's just going to be such a cool experience to be able to kind of get to know each other all better. Like, we've known each other for a few years just through the internet, and like just now we've met in person, and it's really great. Like, that's why I asked like who you know, because Craig's just a ball of love. Like,
Oh my God.
seeing him on the weekend was so good. Like, every time I see him, it's his biggest hugs, and he's just got this one of those people that like smile really does light up the room. He's genuinely like, got that infectious energy, and like,
I'm so glad you said infectious, because like if I was to sum Craig up in like a one term, it's like infectiously positive, or like he's just got infectious positivity. Like, you can't, it's so hard to be around him and just not feel like you've got a ball of sunshine next to you.
Colgate need to like invest in him modeling for them, because it's just that smile. Like, it makes me want to smile. He's such an awesome dude, and the Tim, all of them are so great. So
what
I'm
about
just really excited.
Show at the tour? Like, I mean, obviously your sort of whole campaign for this album Cooties is like everything's colorful and bright, and the songs are really, like I touched on earlier, high energy and you know, excitable. Like, what do you envision that the live show will look like?
Definitely really colorful. We're looking at stage props and stuff at the moment, because we just, every time we play live, we want to make sure it's not just a sonic step up, which should naturally happen if you're practicing and getting better at what you do, but we always want to make sure it's like a massive a visual experience, and like a big experience step up for the people. Whether you don't necessarily have to just like litter the stage with streamers and like crazy high production lights and stuff. It can be small things like just little inflatables that are personalized to the tour art. Like, we're going to do banners and all the kind of like stock stuff. We were looking at confetti cannons as well recently, which I'm not sure if we pull the trigger on, but we just want to make sure it's like, something that people remember, and like have those moments at the show where it's like worth their time, and worth like the prestige of being a moment in time that they'll not like ever forget, and they'll reserve a space for in their memory forever, because it was so special to them. Like, not just we want to focus on the visual, just so it's like all comes together, because we've always been music attendees and show attendees ourselves, so just like always wanting to make sure, especially like because it's been a journey and so many people are with us the whole way, we want to make sure they can see that progression and like feel like we're all moving forward together, kind of thing. Like, we won't do a show if we're just going to be doing like a repeat of what we've been doing on the previous tour. Like, all of the new album songs are going to be played with like, excuse me, Steve. Oh, wait. That was really bizarre. There we go. Excuse me.
You jinx yourself when you say you're going to sneeze. It like ruins it, and then you...
Yeah, that one was bizarre. But yeah, basically, tour is going to be incredible. Like, visually great. Yeah. We're playing to like with some like track as well to click for the first time ever, because like a lot of the new album songs, we have like little lead lines that really stick out and like need to be in the songs, but I don't have like a double necked guitar and 4 arms, so I can't play them all at once. So we've got a few like things to kind of like thicken up the mix in the backing track, nothing too like obvious or standing out. So we've been practicing to that and getting really locked in with that, and even like having track and click to play to is like this weird step up. At the start I was like, oh no, we're turning into like robo band and we're going to be like not like as in the moment or feeling like we're there, because there's so many like digital components and stuff, and like you're basically playing to like a metronome. I thought it would take away the humanized element to the shows, but now that we're used to it, it's actually like the complete opposite. Like, you've got this incredible comfortability in what you can lean on as like a solid base now, because like we're just
step up almost.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like a safety net as well. Like, I'm just like, even playing the songs, we're like leaning into how we play them better now, and like it's just crazy. Like, after playing them once or twice at rehearsal the last few weeks, like having that almost cocky moment where we'll all stand back from the mics and just be like, how
Shit.
good, how sick was that? And it's been so like 6 months of just like tedious, painstaking, like little steps to get there. Like, let's tweak these guitar tones, let's get another guitar, let's try and tweak the guitar tones again with this pickup. Like, just so many little steps that you don't see behind the scenes to get to the point where we're like, oh, we sound sick now, which is why we think we're at. So it's really exciting to get to like present that to everyone, and kind of feels like it's like Bugs 2.0 in the live sense. That people are like, it's a totally, in my opinion, it's like a massive step up. So I'm really, really keen and just really excited. And even at Unify, it was so cool hearing all the Instagram stories and stuff, because it sounds like it's a big step up sonically already. So I'm just so excited.
Well, I mean, all of those little things stack up, right? And I guess like the one thing that it kind of feels like when you're experiencing is it's just epic. Like it's like taking it to that next level, and it feels really epic. And that's definitely what your set felt like at Unify. We are running out of time, so I want to ask you my last question, which is a bit of a quick fire one anyway. I just wanted to touch on my favorite track from the album, which is Mars and Venus. We certainly love a track that kind of like touches on toxic masculinity a little bit, but then like at the same time, it's like really light and bubbly, and it was definitely the standout for me. Now, I'm sorry to ask you to pick your favorite child, but quick fire for me. What's your favorite song on Cooties?
Oh, thank you. That was really nice. I'm glad you like that. And yeah, that song's really close. Honestly, tough call. Probably it's gonna be like Alone Again, and In the Middle of It would probably be duking it out for the final round. And
In the middle of it live, holy moly.
It's so hard. I haven't had to like actually land on one. In the Middle of It, I can't go past it.
Love it.
I think it's the first song when I was like front to back wrote it and was like, this is great. So I think that one would be it.
Amazing. Well, I can't wait to see that and all of the songs live, and for everyone to hear the album. Everyone who's listening, you can catch Bugs on tour with Loser and Void for the Cooties tour. It starts next month, 17 dates. I'm sure there's a show near you. The album itself, also titled Cooties, is out on Friday. I seriously can't wait for you all to hear it. Please make sure you let us know what you think. And honestly, I can't wait to see where Bugs goes next. Thank you so much, Connor.
No, thank you so much, Lily. It's been such a pleasure talking to you, and so cool getting to know you as well. So thanks heaps for your time, and it's your support as well. It's so cool just getting to have these opportunities to talk about what we do. Is just, again, it's all surreal and it's all really overwhelming. So hopefully we get to meet in person sometime really soon as well.
I'll definitely
hell yeah. Awesome. Can't wait.
Thanks, Connor.